The ever-chugging Star Citizen, the biggest gaming crowdfunding project nearing its titular $500 million funding. The new Skyrim in space called Starfield, and its revealed gameplay that looks like a copy of No Man's Sky. Well, No Man's Sky itself releases quality updates yet again this year. And finally, Elite Dangerous getting some actual story that's not complete boring snooze fest. Today, let's take a look at the last year and examine what each of the Space Sim Leader trio plus the newcomer Starfield has managed to show off. Now then, let's start with the newcomer Starfield. This year, Todd Howard did the Todd Howard thing and built up a good foundation for lying to people again. Oh, sorry, force a habit there. I mean, showed off actual functional gameplay, rather than nothing burger concept art that we got before. Honestly, I was surprised to see the game opened up to resemble quite a lot of what we've seen before, but from another game maker, No Man's Sky. Now, like it or not, the similarities we saw, the mining, base building, casual space fighting, oddly invoked the feeling of the kitty-colored spacebar from Hello Games. While Bethesda's games are always, of course, packed with stories and interesting characters, if there is one thing we can be certain of, it's a Bethesda game, and it will be broken. It will have a good story, and it will have a nice open world as well. Now, the fact that you can't land manually on a planet or that it has No Man's Sky vibes is not necessarily a bad thing. Now, of course, I would prefer a seamless travel rather than picking a point and having my ass teleported to it, but hell, if this can be even half as interesting as Skyrim was, it could be genuine boon for the space games for sure. However, for now we are still waiting, but at least no longer we are in the dark about what it will be. Now, the big question after Fallout 76 is, how Todd, 16 times the detail, Howard, fuck it up? I mean, release. Sorry, force a habit. Oh, but speaking of the titular No Man's Sky, what has this oversaturated child's toy, according to hardcore space dads, managed to accomplish this year? Well, as is with No Man's Sky, it has released a few, but quality updates that introduce new content and change a few aspects of the game. Outlaws update brings in illegal, well, kind of, gameplay and trade with new solar ship types. Sentinel update finally allows you to stop the fucking space police from endlessly spawning, now as long as you reach the maximum wanted level and destroy it. And Endurance update changes freighters with much needed mechanics, making them properly better than base building, not to mention living frigates being added on top. And of course, as a sprinkling on very top, expeditions that bring new life into your new game saves with cool rewards. Overall, if you don't care about the little details that much, the story is simple. No Man's Sky yet again adds plethora of little changes and content that together keeps on polishing this third shinier than a middle-aged man's bald spot. But okay, I'm being snarky now. The game overall shows a great result being a 6-year-old game, unlike certain other examples. And now, in totally no particular unconnected way, Elite Dangerous. What has this dead horse managed to squirt out of its gushing wounds left by the fucking Odyssey expansion? A paid-for unfinished slop that Frontier shat out, and in one fell swoop fucked over itself and the community for the game. Well, actually in a slightly more promising manner this year. In fact, a few weeks back, the storyline for the galaxy is finally moving forward with the alien threat coming after humanity once more. And in the current state, something sinister is slowly approaching us from the depths of space. While I was being mildly positive and encouraging about Elite when Update 13 dropped, still on Steam and Google Trends you don't really see a big uplift in player numbers or interest in the game, and who can blame people? Even with the story event, thus far, really it was a cosmetic change and nothing much else. Of course, from the leaks and data dumps we know that that's a Titan Targoid coming, or whatever that is. There will be a new anti-Xeno weapons and modules, maybe even a kind of a ship or a fighter, and though I want to be more encouraging after the major bed shitting that was Odyssey, and with this story being actually unusually decent showing for the game, I can't but to escape the feeling that this might just be too little too late. In any case, it'll be interesting to see what the actual gameplay and content that the Titan Targoid and its events bring. But I swear to fucking gods, if there will be ground FPS combat with those absolute garbage tier mechanics that Odyssey has, I will shit a brick out of sheer spite. And finally, Star Citizen. Now, as I'm making this, the project is few millions away from $500 million total funding. And as it happens, I also did a collaborative work with my peers from the other side of the fence, and I asked for their insight onto how done or how long would Star Citizen take to produce anything of note. And the result was rather interesting, so go check out that video. Still, what has Star Citizen accomplished in the last year? Well, if you, like me, don't care about the super turbo nerded micro details that ultimately amount to pointless waste of time, in macro scale, nothing. Nothing of real note has been done to Star Citizen or Squadron 42, at least that we know of publicly, till today. Yes, we all know CitizenCon is rather close at the time of making this, and the things might get announced if not released, but realistically, if you have to know what we got in the past year, well, Star Citizen released the medical gameplay loops with reviving and stuff. They also added Space River onto a space planet, river on a planet, and additional locations that do look cool, as everything does in Star Citizen, but with a shallower depth than basic white girl. And finally, they released the Siege of Orison, an FPS event exclusively, where CIG showcased and forced players to interact with the worst parts of Star Citizen. I seriously cannot fathom the decision making here. They know that the netcode is fucked. They know that the physics are fucked. The optimization and frame rates are fucked. How the hell an FPS shooty bang bang event would work? It'd be like me trying to lick a 2000 volt power line to demonstrate how cool electricity is. But hey, I had a blast with this event. I realized that at that moment, the Siege of Orison and Star Citizen possessed the absolute worst and disappointing shooter gameplay I've ever touched. So thank you, Star Citizen. You have set a new low for me. I will remember this. Still, aside from the shitfest that was Orison, overall, as I said, in macro scale, nothing of note has changed in the last 12 months. It's rather disappointing overall, since at least one decent thing comes and changes for the project yearly. However, this time, that's not the case. Well then, till the next year when we can take a look at once more what has happened in the space sim genre and what more specifically these old geezers have managed to squeeze out. Oh, and whether or not Todd Howard managed to pull off another Todd Howard. We shall see. And of course I will be following this, so as usual, do subscribe for more content like that. Oh, and if you enjoy my work a little bit more and you want to support this rather crass Latvian potato muncher, well, do check out the Patreon as well as the other links down below. But for now, that's about it, so I'll see you all Todd Howarding next time.